Bonjour. Welcome to another Radio New Manchester podcast. This is Richard, the owner of the New Manchester YouTube channel. And in this audio podcast, I want to talk about toxic Americans. Americans who are very, very, very toxic. And I have my fair share of them here on YouTube, in the comments on my videos, and also in the comments on videos on other YouTube channels when I comment on those videos, on those other YouTube channels. I received a lot of toxicity here online, most notably YouTube, and also in real life, when I'm not behind the keyboard and the computer screen. I might run into somebody who is toxic like time to time, but it's not all the time. And and it's good that I want to talk about these people, these toxic people here in the US. Yeah. It's like this. The United States of America is a country that's filled to the brim with rude, ignorant, obnoxious, loudmouth people. But I'm not going to say all Americans here in the U.S. are like that. There's some friendly parts of the U.S. where people who are very nice and friendly and sociable and easy to talk to. That's just in the friendlier parts of the U.S. In the toxic parts of the U.S., in the toxic parts of the U.S., no. And it's like this. I stumbled upon. Well, I'm gonna start this off with an encounter that I had with a woman on one of the videos on this channel, and I did a video titled "American Women Suck." I did this video like 5 years ago. It's an old video. YouTube finally took it down because I used clips from pornographic videos. I didn't show any sex scenes and porn action. I just showed some people like talking and they had their clothes on, and I cut the pornographic parts off, to keep it respectable. Yeah, just to use these clips to make my point on how women are here in the U.S. And I did some text, talking about how American women are. They're rude, they're standoffish. They think all men are creeps, weirdos, and pedophiles and perverts, and they're afraid of men. They're rude to men. They walk all over men. They ignore men when men want to talk to them. I'm just talking about those type of American women in that video. But it's like this. I ain't saying that all American women are bad. There's some good American women out there. They're rare, they're hard to find. They're rare, they're hard to find, and they're taken. So there's less of them and more of these terrible women here in the States. And these rare American women who are good, they mirror women in foreign countries who are sweet, feminine, down to earth, easy to talk to, and approachable. So, and I said that in that video, and this crazy woman saw this video. She hated it and made post a comment saying that this video was put together by a male who was suffering from psychological problems. And I went at her in the comments, and she told me I need to go see a therapist. And telling me if you hate American women so much, stay away from us. Well, you know, I think you're a little late on telling me that because I stopped messing around with I stopped dealing with American women a long, long time ago. So I'm into women in foreign countries. I'm not into American women anymore. And I remember telling her that, and she said she didn't care. And then she's gonna tell me I need to go. I got psychological problems. I need to go see a therapist, and I need to go seek out a hooker for sex, which she dubbed the hooker Bitter Brian, which is like okay, which is just completely stupid. Okay, I'm gonna talk about these Americans. Like these toxic Americans. Like okay, why in the world? Okay, someone that you're confronting and you say there's something wrong with them, and you tell them, well, I don't need to seek help. All I need to do is just go abroad and just meet some people in a foreign country, form friendships and have a better social life and dating life. And they hear that, and it's none of their business, I think nobody should tell them that. They hear that and they say that they don't care, and they'll tell you to go see a therapist in a mental, you need to see a therapist, a mental health profession, and a psychiatrist, and will yell their head off at you. First of all, first of all, okay, if you assume that person's crazy, why in the world would you shout at them face to face and also in the comment section on a video on a YouTube channel? Like, it doesn't make any sense, because if you yell at a person who's crazy, you're just going to just agitate them even more. These Americans are not just toxic, they're stupid. And that woman who commented on that video that I made, she got issues, and she just want to be rude just for the hell of it. She just want to look. She just like to run around and like to tear people down for no reason at all. Just be rude to someone for no reason, and say that they're full of crap and just attack them for no reason. It's just crazy, and it is. And they gonna tell you, if you don't like it, that's your problem. Like, these people got problems, and they're going to tell me, and this woman's going to tell me that I got psychological problems. Well, I'm looking at you. You're the one who has psychological problems. So, I put this woman down by reporting her to YouTube. And YouTube took care of her, And on top of that, people like her are so defiant, and they don't care if they get punished by the law. Like for instance, a woman accuses a teenage boy for stealing her phone, and the phone that this teenage boy had is his own phone, and she claims that the phone that he has, which is his phone, is her phone. And this goes on, this happens a lot in this country, here in the U.S. It's insane. And these crazy people who throw these wild accusations against people, they end up in prison for harassment. These people like that got problems. And so, I'm going to leave it at that. Okay, what else I want to talk about? Okay, you guys know about Doc Garcia, or Doc G. He's the owner of the YouTube channel here on YouTube, Doc G07, formerly known as Damn This Place '07. And I used to sub to this guy a long time ago. Um, yeah, after I made this channel, and I unsubscribed to him because he did a video about him talking about having sex with mothers or married women and their daughters, and said that the married women and their daughters want his BBC, big black cock, his penis. And when I heard that, that just turned me off. And I unsubscribed to Doc Garcia over that. And, you know, and looking back on that, that was the best decision I ever made because, you know, I'm not into like having sex with someone's wife and and their daughter. Some man's wife and his daughter. Like, I'm not into that. I'm not into spouses cheating on each other. I'm not into that shit because I don't play that stuff. You know, having sex with a married woman, and if you're a married man or you have a girlfriend, if you cheat on another woman, that's wrong. And you know, people cheating on people, it's not just the men who cheat on their wives and girlfriends. It's women. Also, you got women here in the U.S. who cheat on their husbands and boyfriends. So it's not the man who does the cheating. The woman does it too. But here in the U.S., for some reason, all women are angels, and all women and girls are angels, and all men and boys are evil and bad. And if you think like that as a man, if you believe in that, then you're an idiot. You're an idiot. You're not living in reality, and you have no clue. Years later, after I unsubscribed from Doc Garcia's YouTube channel back in 2019, I went to his YouTube channel and saw some videos that he posted. He posted some videos about being a mentor. Then he did a video about being a stepfather to children, and he says, fuck that. Yeah, the stepfather. Yeah, being a stepfather. You know, I'm not into being a stepfather. I don't want that. I don't like that. I want to be a real father. I want to be the father of children who are biologically my own children. I want to be a biological father with children who look like me. I don't want to be the father of someone else's children. I don't want to marry a woman with children who's already been married to a man who she divorced. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to marry a woman who's already been married and had children with another man. I'm not going to do that. I don't want to be a stepfather. I don't like that. I want to be the father of my own children who are biologically my children. I don't want to be the father of someone else's kids. And I'm not into that. And I don't want to do that. You know, and as someone come up and told me this, ooh, you need to do that. I love that. You need to do that. No, I'm not going to do that. And that's that. Okay, I'm going back to Doc Garcia. Doc Garcia, or Doc G, has been making a lot of videos, and some of these videos just made me sick to my stomach. He did a video where he talked about being a protector. Being a protector of a woman and children as a husband. I think that's what the video was about. And I'm saying to myself, how in the hell are you going to be a protector in the United States, a country that's been plagued with mass shootings and school shootings, a country with a broken, bureaucratic, fragmented, pay-to-play healthcare system that benefits the wealthy and not poor people, a country that has foods that contains artificial ingredients, toxins, high fructose corn syrup, all different types of chemicals that make people fat, sick, make them flare their tempers, make them develop cancer, and shorten their lifespans and kills them. How in the hell are you going to be a protector of a woman and her children in a country like that? And he also watched a video from Doc Garcia, another video by him, and it's about him talking about being a mentor to a young person. Can't be a protector of a woman and her children and a mentor to a young person in a shitty country like the United States. Because let's face it, the United States is a country that's all about working and consuming and doing business. It's not about having fun or talking to people, socializing with them. Because everybody in the United States is just angry / bitter, repressed. They're not happy. They don't look happy. They can say that they're happy, but they're not. Because there's a lack of social or human connection. You got loneliness here in this country. Everybody's alone. Every man is an island. Everybody's socially disconnected, segregated, isolating, paranoid, and fake. So it's very hard to meet any normal friends here. I mean, you just can't just go out in the U.S. and meet people and make friends. I mean, it doesn't work that way. It will work in a foreign country, I say, like in like countries like Colombia and others like it. But it's not going to work here in the U.S. So being a mentor and a protector in the U.S. just not going to work. It might work in a foreign country, a country that's outside the U.S., but not in the U.S. And Doc Garcia, of all people, I remember he did a video. This is an old video, and it's still up on his channel. It's a video about him being in Spain, and he told people to leave America now. Leave America. Fuck America. Leave. Or you end up with some bitter ass bitch who's been listening to a lot of Beyonce songs. You know, the video was kind of funny, but it spoke the truth. And here Doc Garcia now. He never left the U.S. ever. And I remember I commented on one of his videos and I told him, "Hey man, will you just leave the U.S. and live abroad? I mean, you do better overseas than here." And he just gave me a heart, and and look at him right now. He's gone off the deep end and is making bullshit videos and just basically going against what he believed in. So basically the man has lost his mind. He's cracked. And a lot of his followers, one told him, "Oh, shut him. Oh, Doc Garcia, shut his ass up." When I was talking about like I never met a woman and all of this on one of his latest videos on his YouTube channel, and some punk ass troll or some Dog G faller told Dog G in the comments telling me to shut my ass up. And I said this to him in the comments. Come say that to my face Come say that to my face when you're not hiding behind a keyboard and a computer screen, you punk. And I don't want to get into the business of people, you know. I don't want to get into anybody's personal life. I want to stay out of someone's personal life because what's personal to them is personal to them, and what's personal to me is personal to me, and I don't want anybody to get in my personal life. And you know, in previous videos, I've been like on this channel, I've been telling you guys what goes on in my personal life, which I shouldn't do. So you know, I'm not gonna do that anymore. So I'm gonna just keep my personal life to myself, and I'm not gonna like talk about it here on YouTube. So Doc G is basically a sellout. He went against what he believed in. And also, I remember he did a video about why foreign people don't like Americans. And, you know, and I think Doc Garcia should be better off living in another country. I mean, Spain, that country he loves so much. Why he should just move there and just live there permanently. Just leave the US for good. Because, you know, he has a college education slash university education. He served in the military. He was a school teacher slash PE teacher. He was a medic. He was a personal trainer, a security guard. He was, and I think he was a bodyguard of some sort. But yeah, but he was all of those things. And he was making some good money in all of this. And he should just put his money and his education together and leave the country, denounce his citizenship, and move abroad to Spain and never ever come back to the US ever again. He didn't do it, so he stayed in the US and he's living in Florida. So, you know, and he's making videos about being a protector and being a mentor and all of this stuff and going down memory lane of all the countries he traveled. You know, it's just sickening, and it is, you know. But you know, he's a grown man; he can do whatever he wants. And going back to all these toxic people here in the U.S., and you know, Dog G is kind of toxic himself. And how you gonna be a mentor and you shitting on people? Like he did a video bashing some Haitian woman, calling a Haitian woman fat and all this shit. You just tearing people down. You know, it's like this. Being a mentor and being a sellout. I guess that works perfectly fine for someone who lives in the United States. Okay, going back to these very, very, very toxic people here in the United States, you know, people who are full of toxicity, people who like to interrupt people when they're talking, people who like to yell at people and put them down with all types of insults, you know, and people stabbing people in the back, ripping people off, lying to people, you know, people being two-faced, you know, and you know, and I look at these toxic Americans, the ones who are online and offline. And I just came to a conclusion that, you know, I don't want to have anything to do with these toxic Americans because as that title in this audio recording says, staying away from toxic Americans is the best valid option out there. It's the best medicine, and it is. So, you know, and I'm trying my best to stay away from toxic people here in the US, where I live at. I live in Texas, and I try my best to stay away from toxic people. It's like this. If I come across someone like a woman or a man who ignores me, if I talk to them, I'll just leave them alone. I'll just stay away from them. It's just kind of sad that, here in the US, like people aren't happy, people don't want to talk to you. They tell me, "Oh, leave me alone. Get away from me. You're bothering me." And that's why the loneliness epidemic is through the roof in this country. Yeah, like loneliness is like it's like smoking. It's like the more you do it, the more it just does damage to you. Like social isolation will lead to like health problems, mental health problems, and dementia, and full blown Alzheimer's disease. Yeah, it'll lead to that. It's kind of sad, and it is, and I look at being lonely and not talking to anybody in the U.S. and the only way you talk to people is through business related purposes, and that sucks. You know, and I still want to move abroad. I still want to leave the U.S. and move abroad and live in a foreign country where I have to put up with loneliness and put up with a lonely, loveless life. I'll have friends in a foreign country. Like I'll be friends with people who are down to earth and sociable, and I'll be in a country with women who are sweet, feminine, down to earth, easy to talk to, and approachable. Women who embrace their femininity, women who like men, who dream of being with men and being in a relationship with a man. Yeah, I like that. But if I be like Doc Garcia and stay in the US, I mean, I want to experience that. And dating a foreign woman who's from a foreign country in the US is just it's just not a good idea because it's like this. If you marry a foreign woman in her country and you take her back to the States, I mean, life and things in the States will corrupt her and she will turn into these crappy American women. And I don't give a damn about these people from foreign countries moving to the US just to work, just to make money and get an education, or they just permanently stay here. I don't give a damn about these people. And I don't. If I was from a foreign country and I see how the US is, I wouldn't even move here, period. I will avoid this country like the plague. I find Americans who who preach to people online and telling people to leave America and move overseas. I find people who say that and they turn around and they never leave and they talk about being a mentor and a protector, being a mentor to a young person and being a protector of a woman and her children, and I got nothing against that. Those are good things. And you can do those things outside of the US in a foreign country instead of doing it here in the US. And besides, like there's no need to be a there's no need to be a mentor in a foreign country because that country is less toxic and the quality of life is way better than in the US. So that's all I gotta say in this Radio New Manchester podcast. Thank you for listening. Merci, merci beaucoup. Merci beaucoup, je vous merci. Merci beaucoup, je vous merci. Au revoir. Cheers. Thank you. Oh, I want to correct myself. Okay, well, if you live in a foreign country, there's no need for you to be a protector and fear for your wife and your children's safety because that country you move to is going to be a million times safer than the U.S. But yeah, you got danger in other countries, and you do. But some countries are safer, some aren't. So moving to a safer country is a good idea. So I just want to correct myself on this radio podcast. All right, I'm done. Goodbye.